I'm Nate,
I'm Jen.
and welcome to Hope Over Cancer Alliance, episode 3. The last one, admittedly, went longer than we had intended it to. So if you got
Longer.
20 minutes in and you're like, yeah, I got stuff to do, and you didn't get all the way through it, I get that. We are going to make sure that we're not letting anything run, 45 minutes again. That went a little long. So what we're going to do is, just talk a little bit about just a really brief kind of recap on some of what we talked about in episode 2, and then just kind of go into our current state, where we're at right now, where I'm at right now um, with what I'm doing, and want to bring some hope that normal people can do this and get through it and live. And just like my shirt says, it's one day at a time. We're doing this one day at a time. So a little bit of the recap. So after the hospital stay with the infection, we kind of came out. I was on some other antibiotics that were oral antibiotics, and they were terrible. They really kind of were messing me up, and so that was difficult. But once we got past oral antibiotics, I did eat, try to gain my strength back, because I had been kind of fasting going into that, and then with the hospital stay and everything, I couldn't eat anyway because of what I was on there. So I was pretty weak. So
Well,
we
you just couldn't. They encouraged you to eat, but you were trying to do broth and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
it,
because hospital food.
yeah, right. It
So
wasn't healthy. It wasn't that he
yeah,
couldn't have food with the antibiotics. He just wanted to have good nutrition and
yeah, and so some of
right.
the stuff on the menu, like I tried, and I physically couldn't eat much either.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly enough, I love coffee, right? Love coffee. Been drinking coffee. I can drink coffee all night long, go right to bed. Um, since that since that infection and that hospital stay, coffee has tasted miserable. Like, I
Yeah.
can barely get it down, and that's a little heartbreaking. I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm a bit of a coffee diva, but that's been pretty heartbreaking, because I love my coffee, and I physically can't take it. Um, which is weird. I don't think I've run into anything else that's happened with me on, but almost like a COVID thing, kind of strange. I'm really hoping that comes back as time goes on, but we'll see. If I can't do coffee, it's not the end of the world, of course,
Yeah. Tea.
but it's pretty close,
Hmm.
pretty close. Um, so back to hospital stay. So while I was in the hospital, right toward the very last day, I was feeling actually really good. We went down to the cafeteria, and I actually did eat some, and it was good. So problem is that as time went on, it was pretty evident that I couldn't pass anything. So
Once you went on to the oral antibiotics, he was on intravenous antibiotics for most of his stay.
yeah,
So I think that it just caught up to him after being on the oral antibiotics for a couple of days, and then
yeah,
it just made it
yeah.
really hard.
So I think between a combination of that mass probably blocking things up, and the antibiotics making things difficult to pass, um, it was difficult to get anything through. So we had to come up with some alternative methods, and this is where the channel gets kind of real.
Mm.
So when you're dealing with stuff like this, and anybody that's had bowel obstruction issues, or maybe even IBS, I'm not sure. I never had nothing going on wrong with my gut. Cast iron gut. I could eat anything. I
Hmm.
could set my watch to, movements, that kind of stuff. So, like, there was I was golden. Everything worked the way it was supposed to. And once this started happening, especially since this infection, and the inflammation and the other stuff, it has become increasingly difficult. And so I shouldn't say increasingly. It increased in difficulty, um, but it seems to have gotten just slightly better over the last week or so. So how have I been getting things to move? Um, this is difficult. So bear with me, you guys, and be kind in the comments, right? So,
Well, and also when you have something like colon cancer, it's almost, I feel like lately it's it's kind of like going back to having toddlers at home, babies at home. You're like, have you eaten today? Have you had a bowel movement today? And you just talk about these things. You do when your kids are little. You do.
yeah,
You do when you have colon cancer too.
yeah. And,
It's what it is.
it's these health things. And because it's a day to day monitoring, and both of us are in this
Hmm.
together. And so we're kind of, she's helping me to, like, hey, I know you don't want to do this, but, one day at a time, go do it. And I love and appreciate that, and very grateful and thankful for that. So, um,
Most of the time.
yeah, most of the time. Usually it's like, Shh, get out of here. No, get out of here. Can I help? No, you can't help.
Anyway.
Anyway, so, um, so enema. That's how I've been getting that through is, but with an enema. So, basically, you get the very simple, you hang the bag on the wall, you fill it full of warm water. We actually, because of the infection, I make colloidal silver, and I fill it full of warm colloidal silver just because if it gets inside there, it's going to help with any infection or any other weirdness that might be
Right.
going on in there. And there are studies done in vitro, meaning in the petri dish, showing that colloidal silver can actually shut down cancer. So it's known for its ability to kill foreign microbes that are foreign to the body. It's interesting that it'll kill bacteria that shouldn't be here, but it won't kill bacteria that should be there. And your gut's full of bacteria. So
Yeah.
that's God is
Well,
not just the great physician; He's the great pharmacist.
mhm.
And so when He created silver, He did so, and you can go all the way back into biblical into the Old Testament times and how they often carried water in silver, and they used silver for some of those things. So very very important to know. Lots of history on that, so go check it out. Colloidal silver, and the moment you pull it up on Google and you find that colloidal silver causes argyria and it's very dangerous, that's yes, it can cause argyria, and there's one known case, and the guy still lives in Texas, and he's the Blue Man, and he lives absolutely perfectly healthy. He just ingests silver that's probably not the
Not
purest,
purified.
and it
Yeah,
it
right.
deposits in the outer layer of the skin and turns the skin blue. The old
Is
term blue bloods, it's exactly the same thing. They were eating and drinking out of and off of silver
It wasn't
that
pure.
that wasn't pure, and it deposited to the outer layer of their skins and gave their skin a gray kind of bluish tone or hue, hence the term blue bloods referring to old rich people. So anyway, colloidal silver, warm colloidal silver, and that makes things happen. So, and it's doesn't hurt. It's uncomfortable because of how it's done. You can go look that up on your
Yeah.
own. But yeah, that's it works. And so that mass and whatever ability it has to block things up, once things are liquefied a little bit better and it all starts to flow, then yeah, that's so far it's been about once a week. So that's and even with not eating, I've I might have to do it again in the next day or so. So just to keep it real, because this is we're wanting to bring information, give you resources, and
It's
if
real
you're
life.
it is real life, and if you're struggling with colon cancer, if you've got a mass in your colon, or you've got any other kind of blockage, check with your doctor. Look into it for yourself. Whatever, they're probably going to tell you that's a bad idea, but I don't know. Look into it
No.
for yourself. Do your research, and I mean this with all the love and sincerity in the world. Don't be intellectually lazy and just hit the easy button and call somebody that you think has an answer. Take the time to do the research, educate yourself, and know and understand what works and what doesn't work. And part of what we're trying to do with this is to offer you resources and information on where you can where you can find this stuff. And so I'm going to edit and do all the editing for this video on my laptop. So I will be adding the links that we've been promising the last few videos. I'm going to be adding a bunch of links, including a link directly to my cancer playlist on my YouTube channel. So that cancer playlist should be, I'm hoping, to make that available to you, and then you can see a lot of the stuff. And as I find new things, I always dump it in there. And so I want to share that with you, and then as well as some links to probably a Google Drive file with a lot of the white papers and a lot of the information that I've pulled out of PubMed, NIH, and I know there's there could be a stigmatism around the NIH because of recent COVID politics and whatever, but for the most part, the NIH is a trustworthy and dependable dump for medical information, medical papers, studies. That's what's important. Is you want to read the studies because you want to know how they come out,
whether they went well or not. It's just the studies. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
and how they were conducted. And you don't have to be a microbiologist to read through the studies. It would certainly help.
You may have to, like we talked about before, hit pause on your reading and go and look up some of the words and some of the things that they mentioned.
This is where being intellectually proactive and having the willingness to study is going to be very important. Mm-hmm. So you got to get to know your enemy, and especially with oncology and oncologists.
The enemy being cancer.
The enemy
just to clarify.
being cancer. Yeah. So with oncology in general, nurses and all of them, and oncologists, in my experience, and I think that once you start looking at other people's experiences also, it's pretty commonplace that that they don't know or subscribe to any ideas outside of the standard of care. So if you go learning something and you bring it in and say, "Hey doc, look at this. Look what I found. It's amazing. Look, it's working." They're not going to have probably much good to say about it other than, we need to keep doing the chemo, or let's continue looking at the possibility for surgery or whatever. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Nonetheless, educate yourself because, oh my goodness, even on chemo, there's so much more you can do to lessen the effects. And the videos that I'm going to link, Dr. Berg has got a number, Dr. Thomas DeLauer has a number of videos. There's going to be information in there directly from a PhD, Dr. Thomas Seyfried, who is he is the man when it comes to cellular microbiology, especially in the study of cancer. So there's not anybody out there that's got better information than him. Believe me. But again, go do your own research. So those videos will be linked in there. A little bit about just today. So because it's real life and we want to share real life, stuff that you have to do and have to get done doesn't stop because you got cancer, right? So today, we went up north and had to put the cover on our camper. The weekend prior, I mean, it was all I could do because of fasting, honestly.
And discomfort.
And
a lot of discomfort.
A lot of abdominal
guts.
pain. So, and I think that's residual from what I had going on in the hospital, and
that mass.
Probably some carryover from that, and from a little bit of the kidney damage from that inflammation and that infection as well. So, this has been hard. But real life, we had to go up north and put a cover over the camper, and thankfully Jen's sister was here, and I sat around like an invalid trying to do something.
In retrospect, he should have accepted the help from family that offered to winterize the camper for us. And you know who you are. We love you very much.
We do.
And he should have accepted that offer. But he's Nate, he's a guy, like a lot of you guys, he wants to do it himself. And we got it done. You feel a lot stronger in your mind and than in the body. So it took a couple weekends to get it done. So the cover was today.
But I think why I felt so strongly about that is because that accomplishment boosts morale. Just knowing that that
True.
got done will help you, get through it. And so setting goals for yourself, there's things you got to get done. And that's that one day at a time. I'm going to get through today, and then tomorrow I'll get through tomorrow, and then the next day I'll get through the next day. And just so you know where we're at with the fast, I'm 12 days into the fast. So I'm past halfway. That's awesome. Thank you, Jesus, for getting me this far. There, because of some of the discomfort and stuff, it's not like I have been 100% clean in the fast. Like today, I ate a small packet of tuna fish because it was
In water.
in water.
Without
Yeah,
that added
no
ginseng.
oil or anything, just straight, bumblebee tuna or star kissed or whatever it was, in the little, the packet. 30 calories. No, I take it back.
60.
That was 60
60
calories.
calories.
So 60 calories,
0.5 grams of fat and like no carbs.
no carbs, no sugar or
No
anything like
sugar.
that. But it had salt and it had some potassium and it's got some of the other stuff in it, the omega 3s, which are all important. Um,
He had to have something
oh
today.
man, I was hurting. It was bad. I was really hurting. And the electrolyte drink that I've been trying to use, that too, that's probably the other thing that's like the taste has just been destroyed on it. I can't drink it anymore. It's
I'm trying not to
yeah.
lose it when he drinks it. So.
Yeah, not good. So I have to find a new electrolyte drink, and I'll let you know what I come up with for that. But I did have the tuna. So did that wreck my fast? No. Did it kick me out of it for maybe an hour? Yeah, probably. So from what I understand, I'm not going to be losing a lot of the autophagy process and a lot of the other fasting benefits. Those are all still there. I'm still in ketosis. So
Not that you want to do that every day. Sorry to cut you
right.
off. But just this is like you said, 12 days in.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you need to do that, you do that,
yeah,
and it's better than not doing anything at all.
yeah.
So
I think I started into this maybe not as healthy as I needed to be. Truth be
he
told.
was really, really still recovering from the infection and the antibiotics.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. And then this evening, I had a small packet of, and this is, everybody's going to run right out and buy this because I know you're all fans.
I like it.
Well, I actually kind of like it too, but
Those that know me know I love this
yeah,
treat.
Japanese food and that kind of thing. So basically, it was roasted seaweed wafers,
Snorri.
nori, roasted seaweed wafers and sea salt. And I knew because I wasn't getting enough electrolyte, I knew I needed that sea salt. And to put salt in water and drink it, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh, yeah, just go drink out of the ocean, really. So yeah, that's terrible. So one of the ways I've been getting some of that salt is by adding some pink Himalayan salt on celery, so I can have a
When you
few
taste.
bites of celery if I take
Yeah.
supplements. And that's okay. You're not that caloric intake is so low, it's not going to disturb or do anything to your fast, and it helps your stomach to have something in there for supplements because sometimes they can kind of if they can make your stomach ill. Some of you don't have that problem. Whatever, that's great. Some of us do. So. That kind of brings us up to date to where we're at. So we're 12 days into our fast. I've got 9 days more to go. Praise God. We're going to get through this one day at a time. So a little bit of progress with website. We are actually no progress with the website. This has had me kind of down, and I've just not.
He's not been feeling well.
Yeah, I've not put anything into it. So we're working on that. This is going to be a slow process getting the nonprofit itself up. I've got to have a board. There's all kinds of stuff to do with that. If anybody knows about nonprofits, especially locally, that says, "Hey, I've set these up. I know what to do, and I can help you." Please reach out. I could use it. I know that there's people that I know people that have done it, but for those of you that are in the fight. Whether it's you or your family, and you've done this and you know how to do it, I would love to know more. So reach out, message me, put something in the comments, something like that. And I think that we're going to wrap things up. We're almost exactly 20 minutes in, and I didn't even want to go this long, but it's good information. Anyway, we love you guys, and the Lord will raise you up. Psalm 41 says the Lord will raise you up out of your sick bed, and He will sustain you. Sorry, He will sustain you in your sick bed, and He will raise you up out of it again. Yeah. Trust in the Word, trust in the Lord, trust in His ability to save you and bring you through this. God bless you all. Thanks for your time. Love you.
Right.
Bye.